What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the first Godzilla Block Party of 2017. Today, we are going to review GMK, Giant Monsters All-Out Attack, and I am joined by three of the biggest giant monsters I know. Actually, three of the biggest douchebags I know. We've got a full GVA panel here. The GVA invasion is in full force. It is IG1 against GVA, even though we probably all feel the same way about this movie, so it really ain't that big of a war. But let me start off. Joining us today, we've got my brother from another mother, motherfucking Shinji, a.k.a. GMK himself. What's up, my brother?
What the fuck's up, G-Show? What's the fuck's up, Ray? Happy New Year, motherfucker. I love you, man.
New Year. I love you. I missed you guys. It's been a while since we got on the motherfucking podcast, and we are back. Also joining us today, we've got JR. Motherfucker, what's up?
Hi.
Yeah, I knew it. He's getting muted. He's mute this motherfucker. And last but not least, joining us, finally back on the motherfucking Godzilla Block Party, my main man, Gam Z1, from an eternity of exile. He is back. What's going on, man?
I fucking love Kaneko.
There you go. He loves Kaneko. Anyway, I don't know what that means, but I will say this. GMK, Godzilla, MOTHRA, King Ghidorah, All Monsters Attack. Whoo! Is it the best movie in the Millennium series? We don't know.
Yes.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Okay, so no. Okay, so we got 2 yeses, 1 no. I'm holding mine. I'm reserving my answer for later. Let's get right into this. I'm going to start with you, GMK or Shinji. What are you calling yourself these days?
Yeah, I'm GMK.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Back to GMK. Once the birthday for GMK, the movie came out in December, I decided to take on my original moniker again.
Well, that's good for you. Very good. Very proud of you because that Shinji thing was kind of, lame. So I'm glad you're back. Glad you're back to basics. So anyhow, GMK is coming out, right? You go see it. Finally, you get to see this movie. What is your initial reactions after you see this movie?
Wow. This was the Godzilla movie I've been waiting for all my fucking life. That's exactly how I was feeling during the movie and after the movie. Actually, I still feel that way about the movie.
Justifiably so. Gams.
All right, so to answer your earlier question, Shizuke Kaneko is the director of this movie. And if anybody recognizes that name, he's also the director of the Heisei Gamera trilogy. And I fucking love the Heisei Gamera trilogy. And when I learned that dude was making a Godzilla movie, I was like, oh yes, finally. And while he didn't get his original vision of Godzilla, Anguirus, and Varan, because Toho was like, oh no, they're not marketable, those assholes.
Yeah.
I'm still really impressed with what he was, given to work with. And yeah, Godzilla's a badass. He's King Ghidorah is kind of disappointing, but I'll get into that later on as the podcast progresses. I loved the Baragon. I loved the whole guardian monster bits. The human parts are interesting. I love the Tachibanas. I can go on about gushing this movie all day.
Oh, that's
but
good.
I guess it's JR's turn.
It is JR's turn. JR, you see this movie for the first time. What's your initial reactions?
Well, I was little. I seen it on the Sci-Fi Channel. I was like, hey, a Godzilla movie. And then as I got older, I realized I really did not like this movie. I find it a chore to watch, honestly.
Even to this day?
Yep. It's a chore, dude. And I got it on Blu-ray because I wanted, I'm collecting them all on Blu-ray, finish that collection, and now I gotta wait for 4K, whatever. And I like the more detail in the Blu-ray version, but it doesn't help the film as a whole because the Blu-ray version does bring out several problems with the suits. And it doesn't help the overall acting and story, but we'll get into that. I hate this movie.
It's funny you mentioned that.
Why did we invite this guy?
hey, he's a part of your team. Don't
I know, right?
Fired.
get fired. He's JR. You're doing something I didn't think possible. You're wrestling the big guys' jimmies.
I ain't got no jimmies.
That's a meme. That's funny. Okay, I gotta agree with you with the Blu-ray. Bringing out some of the flaws in the costumes. I watched this movie this morning, and I watched my old DVD copy, and it was kind of a little grainy. And I'm like, okay, so I'm enjoying it for what it was because everything was, you couldn't spot the flaws, even though the flaws that you do see in the costumes, it's the design and the material used. But I'm talking about Mothra. But anyhow, like Gam Gam, I loved Kaneko's Gamera trilogy. I hold that in the highest regard. So again, like Gam Gam, when I found out that it was Kaneko making a Godzilla movie, it was like, oh my god, dreams do come true. Unfortunately, he didn't make the movie he wanted to make, or let me rephrase that. He couldn't make the movie he wanted to make, but he still made a solid entry in the franchise, regardless. And I love this movie. I'm head over heels with this damn flick. And I've watched it numerous times since its release. So it's one of my personal favorites. Yeah. So I guess that's the 3-1 on the love and hate side of GMK. Let's get with the. I'm gonna start with you, Gam Gams, because you wanted to go. So the story itself, the characters you would name in the Tachibans, and go for broke, man. What was it that you really enjoyed about this?
Like Admiral, like a highlight scene for me is Admiral Tachibana's recollection of 1954, where he was like the sky was red, he was roaring like a devil, things like that just permeated like this movie's so dark but not like stupid dark like those stupid Attack on Titan movies, but like just the perfect amounts of dark for me. And the scenes where Godzilla was actually killing people, like that girl in the hospital screaming and bawling her eyes out as Godzilla was walking by the window, and then her fake relief thinking that Godzilla actually passed her by, and then the tail came, because they always forget about the tail. It's just scenes like that just kind of get to me and kind of make me wish that other movies, Shinji, had those kinds of moments. And it's like, okay, let me get into something that I'm actually kind of disappointed in, and that's King Ghidorah. Like, yes, I get why they made Varan into King Ghidorah, but for fuck's sake, I've been grown up to believe that King Ghidorah is the slime ball of a kaiju, the evilest of evil. You expect me to now believe that he's the savior of mankind? That's the only thing I can't get behind. That's the only thing I can't get behind.
That's a funny thing you brought that up, because I was thinking the same. Well, I wasn't thinking the same thing, but as I was watching it today, I was thinking how I'm actually okay with King Ghidorah being a guardian monster in this. Like, I'm all right with that, because in the beginning, it did take a little getting used to the fact that you have Godzilla's greatest nemesis, be the good guy in this movie. And yeah, over time, like I said, I watched this movie a lot. Over time, that seems to just, like, I don't even care, because I don't even like this King Ghidorah. I really don't. You know what I mean? But it doesn't take nothing away from the movie for me. So I don't even care about him enough to even be like, oh, damn, why'd they make him a good guy when he's always supposed to be a bad guy? I get what you're saying, but it's funny you said that, because today I was thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, makes sense. It's this movie. It's a separate thing, like Shinji. It's a separate thing. It's just what it is. And what about you, man? Like, what was some of the things that made you, head over heels with this movie?
what made me head over heels about this movie is I feel that this was the most proper representation of what Godzilla should be like. When I rewatched it a couple weeks ago, I watched it with my brother who hadn't seen it yet. And, you know, he's a Godzilla fan, of course, but he's not like me where he has like all the movies and, you know, goes out of his way to see stuff and all that. So we're watching it together a couple weeks ago. And literally, the first scene when Godzilla comes out, he's fucking knocking shit over. He's like, fuck this, and knocks it over. My brother's like, holy shit, this fucking Godzilla's mean. And he got all fucking pumped up and excited, and it was getting me all fucking pumped up and excited. So it just reminded me of exactly why I fucking love this movie. I mean, Godzilla is Godzilla. Since the original, he was not really come across as, fuck you, I'm Godzilla, get the fuck out of my way, because he's been too busy being almost a good guy or anti-hero the whole time. But this guy was like, middle fingers blaring, I'm here, fuck you.
Totally agree with that, man. You say that, and like what Gam Gam said when Colonel Tachibana was giving the recap of when he first saw Godzilla as a child, and yes, they don't even show Godzilla there. You just see the boy and hear him roaring in the background, see the people fleeing, and the picture he paints with his story, and then what you're seeing visually, you can tell, you can feel the dread. And yes, when this Godzilla comes on screen, it is game over. This is one of this, if not the scariest Godzilla of them all. Because like you said, yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He's flipping shit over. He's knocking things down. He's killing in cold blood. Straight up. It's not just people in the way while he's walking. No, he makes it his business to look down and atomize, you know, the supermarket. I love it.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought that up, because like a lot of people are like, oh, the nuclear mess is lost for all this spiritual shit. No, it's not. Like that supermarket scene where he saw the screaming people and said, fuck these people, and decided to hit them with his atomic breath. They showed a mushroom cloud. Like the atomic bomb just got dropped on Tokyo.
And the teacher even says, she even says atomic bomb, if I'm not mistaken, or atom bomb, she says. So yeah, that's a great point. JR, give me some of the reasons why you don't like this movie. Like, what's one of the glaring things that pisses you off?
It's a fucking snooze fest, man. Like, I'm sorry, but in a movie, if the story doesn't grip me, I will fucking be taken out of it. I will rate the movie lower and lower the more the story stays bland. The story of it's so bland to me. And the acting in the movie just was like, you know, it's kind of cringing in most cases. I mean, some scenes are good, but I'm just like, I've seen better acting in two Godzilla's movies ago, 3 Godzilla movies ago, you know? It's just one of those Godzilla movies where everyone's like concerned, oh, Godzilla's such a dick, you know, and oh, it's so cool, all the action's cool, but the story's a bore. There's nothing there to really keep me invested.
So,
you know?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I don't know if there was like major rewrites after they said they weren't going to use Varan, Anguirus, and Baragon, which they fucking should have. But it's just glaringly obvious that it might have been rushed because the plot. I mean, what is the basic plot of this movie? Well, we need King Ghidorah to wake up. Godzilla needs to be stopped. Okay, that's, you know, there's a lot of Godzilla movies where that's the plot. Godzilla needs to be stopped. But a lot of other Godzilla movies also have other plots. What was the other plot in this movie?
BS
He
Digital
needs to
Q.
videotape Godzilla?
Yep, BS Digital Q.
Yeah.
There's a lot more.
And that's not enough to keep me invested.
But see,
it's really not.
Listen, I'm not gonna disrespect your opinion. I'm cool with that, but there's a lot more to it. I mean, there's another subplot. There's a couple. You have the romantic tension between Yuri and I don't remember his name, and I just watched this movie, but you know, the dude with the glasses, the stiff, good-looking guy, and then you have the relationship between Yuri and her father. Her father is no joke. And he even tells her, she's like, could you give me some information? He's like, no, you got to go and seek out your own context. This is what you chose to do in life. Like little things like that. And that actually builds to a crescendo at the end of the movie when she gets on the phone and she's like, well, before that, when she's reported and they go to him in the command center and they're like, do you have a daughter named Yuri? And he's like, yeah, what? And then they show her recording. He's like, arrest her. Like, he's pissed off. Like, what the fuck? Because he loves his daughter. She's putting herself in harm's way. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with this crazy kid? And then, it flips later on when he's like, I'm going to stop Godzilla and I'm going to get in the sub. And she hears that. And she's like, what are you doing? Can't just send someone else to do it? And he's like, no, responsibility. I am the commander. It is my duty to lead by responsibility. So little things like that, like, to me, that was interesting. I mean, those are little subplots peppered through the movie that actually comes to a head at the end, and what's the word I'm looking for? It finishes. It wraps things up nicely, I should say. I there's a word for it, and I can't think of it right now. But so things like that. Go ahead.
Let me add though, because I mean, yes, of course, we're all respecting opinions, but for me, it was like, the romantic subplot that lasted like. It was like quick. It was like, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then it's whatever. Never heard of again. Until the guy
longer than most romances.
Yeah. Until you actually see him screaming at the TV, Yuri! And then the father stuff, yes, but it just wasn't built up enough. You had that little bit of relationship at the beginning, and then they don't fucking talk to each other until towards the end of the movie. And that's where it's like, you could have filled that in a little bit, made it a little bit more relatable, a little bit more stronger, so when that final ending happens, you have a little bit more of an emotion instead of, they cared about each other, and, there's not really a strong father-daughter connection, so I don't know why she's getting all upset about this. I've been like, okay, just be safe.
All right.
That's all I would have done.
I don't know, man. I do have to disagree on that point. I think they showed the father-daughter relationship throughout the movie, and it's definitely peppered throughout the movie. There is definitely dialogue between the two, and it does build up to the finale and how everything gets resolved. But nah, I do see what you're saying. I agree. Gam Gam.
Mm-hmm.
The monsters.
Yes.
How did you feel about the kaiju in this movie? The looks, their actions, their behavior.
Baragon's redesign is pretty cool. He's a little small for my taste, but he was meant to be small. Godzilla was meant to tower over all these kaiju. So I get that. I get that. I love how they kept Baragon's burrowing ability. I wish they brought back Baragon's fire breath so that he could put up at least a little bit more of a fight. But I get why he was toned down powers-wise, because they wanted Godzilla to completely dominate him. Speaking of Godzilla dominating, Godzilla's breath, even though it's not red, even though it's not spirally, I feel like it's one of the most powerful breaths in the franchise.
100%.
Because of how much kick it has. And speaking of Godzilla and Baragon's fight, another thing this movie loves to point out is that people die.
Oh, yeah.
People die a lot. And that's probably one of the main points of the movie, of the movie Kaneko was trying to give us, is that, like, we see all these Godzilla movies where shit blows up and monsters fight, but we don't see people die for some reason. Well, in this movie, people die. What? Mothra, I kind of don't like Mothra's design, to be honest. She looks kind of ugly. Yes, moths are ugly, but Mothra was never really that ugly. Mothra was always depicted as this almost beautiful thing, beautiful goddess that, like, brings awe into all who see her, and then now she's just this ugly bug who shoots stingers.
Hey, you say stingers, I say shit pieces.
I don't know what the hell came out of her ass, but it was weird. And King Ghidorah's design, I always loved the little touches where, like, even though they couldn't use Varan, they put Varan's head design on Ghidorah's heads as a way to say, fuck you, Toho, I wanted to use Varan. And he's small, and his wings are puny, and he doesn't get his full lightning powers until, like, 3/4 of the way through the fight. But all of it was built up to make Godzilla look like a badass, so I guess I can just forgive it.
Okay. Yo, GOK, what's up, man? The monsters. What was your pros and cons?
Originally, I don't know, a little mixed. The fact that, as Andrew was saying, that Godzilla was supposed to, be overpowering, that kind of took it over for me, because there's so many movies I felt Godzilla should have been overpowering, especially in the mid to early Showas, that he didn't seem to come across that way. And that's why the good guy Ghidorah doesn't bother me. And I do have to correct you, Andrew. Ghidorah wasn't always evil. That was just the Showa era that he was always evil. In the high side, he was just kind of like a little puppet, because Mecha King Ghidorah was a good guy. And, he was a villain earlier just because he was under the mind control. But he's kind of just neutral in the high side area. So now that we're in the Millennium era, this is his first movie. He's a good guy. You know what? He's there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So he's just another fucking cannon fodder for Godzilla to destroy, which it made me happy. I was, you know what? Fuck you, Ghidorah. You don't deserve to stand a chance against Godzilla anyway. So I wasn't bothered with Ghidorah. Baragon, that fight with Godzilla and Baragon was, God, that was one of the best fight scenes in a Godzilla movie, man.
Yes,
sir. You started feeling for fucking Baragon, even though Godzilla was going to win. I was like, wait a minute, I'm kind of like torn in between this. And then Mothra, nobody fucking likes Mothra.
Not in this movie. Not in this movie. Come on, man. Look. Come on. Look. Well, we'll get to that. We're going to get to that in a couple of weeks. But when we get to the head side movies, come on, man. Everybody loves cute, fuzzy Mothra, right? Antenna beam shooting. Come on. Yeah. No? For real? I'm the only one? Fuck y'all.
No, dude. Cute, fuzzy Mothra from the Mothra trilogy. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Mothra. If we ever review the Mothra trilogy, I actually do enjoy the first and the third movie. And King Ghidorah was evil third movie, goddammit.
Speaking of Snorefest, God, that trilogy, Jesus Christ.
Come on, it was aimed at children. Children!
Exactly why I don't appreciate it.
Listen, Jesus loves the little children. All right, let's stop, all right? JR, the monsters, the kaijus, the pros, the cons.
Ghidorah sucked. Varan's head on Ghidorah's kind of a slap in the face to me. Like, this is what you could have had. Bitch, you thought. Mothra looks like shit. Baragon's cool. I like the classic Baragon look a lot more, but, an updated Baragon after fuck ton of years, absolutely. All down for it. And Godzilla's design for the suit would have been better if they would have dropped him a few pounds, had him get on the Treadmaster for a while. Sweat it off, baby, sweat it off. 4 more reps. Please, get rid of that belly. It would have been better without the beer belly, and everyone knows it because every figure out there except one Bandai Creation figure has the beer belly gone. So, I'm not alone here.
Well, it's not that everybody knows it. You're missing the biggest point of that. That was a suit design flaw, why he had the pot belly.
I know, but again, kind of goes with maybe rushed film. They didn't have time to fix the issue.
All right, wait.
It's kind of where I was saying.
For the sake of the people watching this that don't know what you're talking about, Anthony, could you explain that?
For the sake of the people, this was the biggest Toho Godzilla movie suit made. It was about 7 feet tall, maybe just under, to show Godzilla's presence and how big he was supposed to be over the monsters. Unfortunately, it just couldn't. It was so big it couldn't just stay upright, so it hunched over and gave him a little bit of a potbelly. Because realistically, it was overall slimmer than compared to most of the High Size series designs. I mean, those had some fat fucking thighs.
Dude, Godzilla in the High Size could have been in Thighs magazine. Thighs for days.
No,
but that's the whole point of why the suit would look like that. It gave him a little hunchback and a potbelly.
It gave him a more ferocious look too. I think it was one of those design flaws that actually works for the movie. I don't mind the potbelly. I don't.
I don't either.
It shows how massive Godzilla is, and again, he towers over all three of these monsters. And again, we know what two of these monsters should have been, Anguirus and Varon. But and maybe that was one of the things that kind of bugged me a bit. The fact that Ghidorah was so small compared to Godzilla, when I'm used to, King Ghidorah to be this gigantic, imposing force. But I died. Whatever. I died. Whatever. Then
I'm just saying, there's really only 2 shots in the movie where the potbelly is really noticeable, and that's that wide shot where Godzilla during the daytime, a little bit after Godzilla first lands in Japan, and then the second shot where Godzilla's fighting Mothra and he's running down that street.
Yeah,
that's the only 2 times I've really ever noticed the potbelly.
Kind of looked like a fat man running to get some cake.
Or beer, so shut your face, because that's me.
Yeah, beer. Of course, I'd run like that to get beer in a heartbeat.
There you go. But no, listen,
honestly, though, a lot of people want Godzilla to have muscles and be some kind of bodybuilder. Dinosaurs, which technically Godzilla was, they weren't bodybuilders. If they had muscle, it was purely for survival. Had nothing to do with them working out and trying to be tough.
Exactly.
If they were fat, it's because they ate too much. Or fed on whatever. I mean, they're not there to be fucking for little boys to be like, ooh, look how big his muscles are. You know what I mean? He is what he is.
I agree with you.
And back to those fan artists on DeviantArt that always make Godzilla into a bodybuilder.
I wanted to touch on something you said there, Anthony, about the Hesai thighs and GMK. I totally agree with you because, again, when I was watching it today, I was thinking that. I said, you know what? This suit ain't bad at all. The legs are not as excessive as people might want to, as people have claimed they are. And I love the Hesai suit. I love all of them. And I understand it was Mechagodzilla where that really big thigh shit started.
Right.
Because Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, Godzilla versus Biollante, Godzilla versus Mothra, it's not... It seems fitting, especially for me, King Ghidorah. There's a couple of shots in there that I'm just like, that is the perfect Godzilla look right there. But Mechagodzilla started that thick thigh shit, the really heavy looking suit. Godzilla looks like a fucking giant Christmas tree in Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. You know what I mean? I love that movie to death. I love it, but I see what you're saying. It to me, it does not equate to what we had previously. And what even Shin Godzilla, he's got some massive fucking thighs, So
yeah,
I get a little, I'll defend this suit for GMK because I don't think it's bad at all. Plus, like I said, with the hunch, even if it was a design flaw, it gives it a more dinosaur look to it. It's hunched over. The legs got that nicely the bend at the knees. We've never seen Godzilla like that before. And the only time we've seen anything like that...
It pronounces his, I wouldn't say evilness, but his domination, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the only time we ever seen anything closely resembling a dinosaur was 1998. And it was a giant iguana. So we know We know what that is, okay? By the way,
Wait. There was a Godzilla movie in 1998?
There was, and this movie, one of your favorite movies, acknowledges it. Thus, it is canon in this universe. In one of the greatest Godzilla movies. Huh?
How have we gone this long without talking about Godzilla's eyes?
Well, that's a good point. So now what? You start that off. Talk about his eyes, or lack thereof.
These dead, white, soulless eyes. Never know where Godzilla's actually looking, because he's looking at everything at once. Because he's just sneering and surveying his environment in pure, utter hatred. And I kind of almost wish that Shinji had the dead white eyes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Instead of the googlies. Because the dead white eyes, at least for this Godzilla, this snarling, just hateful look, it just works. It just works.
It really does. And I'll tell you this, off the bat, that was the one thing, when I found out about the eyes, the one thing I was like, what the fuck are they doing? That's stupid. There's no way. I don't get it. I hate it. I don't like it. And then I seen the movie. And you're right. You know what? It didn't take long for me to get used to it. It took me about, I don't know, when I saw the poster, and I was already bought in. I said, yeah, fuck it, it works. It works. And in the movie, you're right. It brings a more ferociousness to the character. It has no eyes. It's soulless. One can argue the point that maybe it was through the story. It's like that. Because Godzilla's supposed to be possessed. And if we've watched any possession movies, let's say Evil Dead, they have no eyeballs. So it makes sense, like in that regard. And that's how I softened the blow for myself. That's how I came to accept it. Like, you know what? If he's possessed, yes, he got no eyes. Your point to Shinji, instead of the googly eyes being the white out, it would have worked because it could have worked, but then it would have been like, okay, you've got this zombie look going. Now it's 100% Walking Dead. You know, it's a zombie. And there's no explanation for it being a zombie in this movie. If there was an explanation, I would have loved it a lot more. But again, I'm not shitting on Shinji here. This ain't the podcast. We will do another recap Shinji when that Blu-ray drops. I guarantee you that. But yes, the eyes. So, those GMK eyeballs, seriously, what were your thoughts?
I absolutely love them. I really wish more Godzillas would incorporate this. I hope it's just not an evil Godzilla trait. Because just like you guys, or at least what you just said, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, wow, what are they doing? Like, you know, I didn't understand it. It didn't come together until you watch the movie. And when you see him and there's a glow behind it, and then you can like, okay, it's not only an ethereal and a spiritual feel behind him, but now he looks powerful. You know, a lot of drawings have Godzilla like when he's breathing fire or about to breathe fire, have his eyes, you know, glowing, you know, with a little fire behind him. This movie was showing that, and it was, you know, like I said, like ethereal. It just looked, wow, fuck yeah. So I really hope, I really hope in the future that they incorporate it again, and not too far off future.
I hear you. And I loved everything you just said. It brings a malevolence to Godzilla with those whiteout eyes in this movie. The way he's supposed to be depicted, it came across on film, and I appreciate that. But let's go and talk to the person who didn't like this movie, and let's see what he says. JR, what did you think about Godzilla's white eyes?
You know, when I first watched it, I thought it was the most badass thing, because the white eyes are on Godzilla just kind of show it. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, holy shit. It just looks cool. And the meaning behind it, which can be depicted, yeah, it works. But for me, it was always like, okay, it looks cool. Like I said, I have nothing wrong with the suit except the belly. You know, I love the suit. The eyes fit the suit. Do the eyes fit other Godzillas? Nah, Shin Godzilla, yeah, but if you threw him on like Kyu Goji, it wouldn't work. So I think it works with certain Godzillas, and this is the one where it fucking shines.
You know what? You made a good point there, the Kyu Goji, but in some of those IDW comics, they actually have Kyu Goji without the eyeballs, and it looks ferocious. But I do see what you're saying. In comic books, it could work. In film, that might not work. But, oh, look, there it is. And Gam Gam Z1, ladies and gentlemen, y'all can't see it, but we can. But Gam Gam Z1, it is showing us Godzilla in Hell, the cover for that comic book, Godzilla and His White Eyes. It's a very, and you know what? And I agree with you. I would not mind seeing those white eyes make a comeback and, in another design. Oh, fuck, you want to continue this adventure? Let's go. I would not be dismissive to that idea. I think because it works so well. And if you do it right, I can't see good guy Goji having the white eyes. You know what I'm saying?
I can, because this would be like a power-up feature.
Oh, in that case, no. Okay, so what you're saying is, okay, if Godzilla was to go Super Saiyan, I get you. When he powers up, you know what? If he does the spiral beam to finish off the opponent and the eyes go blank, I totally buy that. I totally buy that 100%. So
kind of like Shin Godzilla, what he does when he starts breathing the radioactive fire, how he kind of shields his eyes and it kind of looks like blank and dead.
Which was a great fucking thing. Like, I can't even lie. That, as much as I don't like that look, I so appreciated that. I was like, oh, that is fucking cool, man. That's fucking dope. Yeah, you know what? I could see that. If it was like a power-up feature, then shit, yeah. I'm totally for that. Even with a heroic Goji in nature. I want to touch upon something real quick you said, Ant, a while back when we talked about the kaiju. You talked about the Baragon Godzilla fight. And I'm watching that fight today, and I got to be honest with you. That is possibly the best fight in a Godzilla movie. That is the best kaiju. Like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, damn, this was staged really good. And again, maybe props to Kaneko, because he had 3 Gamera movies, and each one just evolved. Each one of them, they evolved. You had, the first Gamera, Guardian of the Universe. That's a good movie. Gamera 2? Oh, that movie. Woo. Yeah, we're going to get to there. We're going to talk about that in the pod. That's a separate podcast. Then Gamera 3, it evolved. I have never seen a kaiju fight, with the exception of maybe Frankenstein Conquers the World, which also, by the way, had Baragon, and War of the Gargantuas, because of this, the leniency of the suit, the ability to be flexible, they can do much more. I've never seen a kaiju battle this fucking good. It was from when Baragon hooks onto Godzilla's arm, and Godzilla's walking backward, and he's lockjaw, man. He's like a pit bull. He won't let go. That is, seriously, in a Godzilla movie, there's only one other, in my personal opinion, one other Godzilla fight that I put right up there with it, and that is in Godzilla Raids Again with Godzilla versus Anguirus. These two fights, and now it makes me want to know what Kaneko had in mind if he used Anguirus. Would Anguirus have been in the Baragon role? Would we have seen that fight with Anguirus instead of Baragon?
Well, from what I hear, he replaced Anguirus with Mothra and Varan with Ghidorah.
Well, it's funny though. I thought Mothra was replaced with Varan because it came out of a lake, and Varan was a lake monster in the original.
Yeah. It was originally supposed to be Anguirus, the Guardian of Water, Baragon, the Guardian of Earth, and Varan, the Guardian of the Sky.
That makes sense. But, alright. See, that makes no damn sense. Mothra was flying, and King Ghidorah got his wings after Mothra died.
It's like, what?
It's
what
backwards.
Could have been
what could have been and what happened are two different things.
True.
Yeah, it's really hard to speculate because there's all this woulda, coulda, shouldas. I mean, using the formula itself of what they use for the title, GMK, Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, if they left Baragon out of the other one, it would have been Godzilla, Varan, and Anguirus, which would have left GVA.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You see where he got it from. It's not Godzilla versus all. You guys have been misled for the past 5 years, right? That's what you've been going around 5 years? Shorter than 5?
Almost 3.
3 years, y'all been misled. This is actually, he's actually trying to get that movie made. So the more people who like and subscribe to that channel, the more funding he might get to actually make the original Kaneko Vision. And I appreciate it. I applaud you for that, my friend. But all right. So we talked about the monsters. You guys have any? Listen, seriously, this is one of the greatest Godzilla movies in terms of the monster fight with Baragon, definitely, because the monster fight with Mothra and King Ghidorah, especially Mothra, it felt like kind of been here, done that already. And they actually rehash it later on too. I mean, the Mothra fight sequence in Tokyo SOS is kind of reminiscent. It just doesn't have the shit stingers. But we've never seen Ghidorah, get manhandled the way he did in this movie. And again, he's a smaller creature. Again, it's only 2,000 years old. It's supposed to be 10,000 years old to be at full power. That's in the movie.
And it was supposed to be Orochi. I mean, they didn't say the name Orochi, but the design was Orochi with 8 heads.
It's right. Exactly. So it's, you're missing all of these elements to Ghidorah. He's a baby. He's an infant. He's a fucking fetus fighting Godzilla. You know what I mean? So the battle there is, and we had this conversation before. I think it was me and you, Ant, where you were talking about Godzilla. I mean, King Ghidorah kept dying, and was it you who was saying that? He kept dying.
JR was complaining about it.
All right, so let's go. JR, let's go to you, bro. Talk to us. Why did you hate that so much? Like, break it down for us.
He became the Krillin and...
No, he's even worse, dude. He's fucking Yamcha of this movie. He's Yamcha. He got hit by a fucking rock and died. Yamcha straight up. It bothers me because, I've always loved King Ghidorah. I mean, for fuck's sake, my Christmas present was the Six Monster Arts King Ghidorah special color version. I wanted that fucking thing so bad. And, I grew up loving King Ghidorah. Like, who's Godzilla's number one nemesis? King Ghidorah, until Destroyer came along. Now it's changed for me. But, I mean, King Ghidorah's always been that motherfucker you just don't fuck with. And he dies. And then he dies again. And then he dies again. And then he keeps dying.
Wait. So you're insinuating that didn't happen in the Heisei series?
Oh, it did. But, he comes back as Mecha King Ghidorah, and it's all cool, I understand that he kind of got his head blown off, but he never died. And
I don't know. It did happen.
Yeah, but he never died in that movie. He was resting when they went back to the future. They said he's still alive. He's
basically comatose, right?
Yeah. So he never really died. As for GMK, I mean, he's fucking not moving, and he's pretty dead. He looks pretty dead. Arguably, no, he got knocked out. So out of the 3 times, 2, he definitely fucking died. And it's like, stop bringing him back to life if he's just going to die. Just leave him dead. Like Yamcha, just stop. He's dead. Leave him the fuck alone. They could have done something else, or they... I get it. He's supposed to be asleep for 10,000, 8,000, 4 million. It still doesn't. It doesn't help the film when he's like, oh, well, he's woken up early. Okay, why not do what you were going to do? Make him that 8-headed fucking dragon. Do what you were going to do, not just be like, oh, it's King Ghidorah. He's got 3 heads. He hasn't regained his full power. He's a baby. Oh my God, you just made it lame as fuck then.
I'll actually kind of agree with you on that point. As much as I love the movie, there was a sense where, like, wait, he could have been stronger?
Yeah, we said
Exactly. I want to see that fucking fight, dude.
But is that a lead up to a GMK 2? That's the thing I could say behind it.
I don't know,
That would
man.
be-
He
That'd be
totally.
lovely.
I don't think so, man. That Ghidorah was blown to bits, and that's one of the things I appreciate with this movie. They I don't recall another Godzilla movie that actually showed bits when the creature exploded, like huge chunks of meat. Okay, like this thing.
It was The Walking Dead for real.
Yo, exactly. This thing exploded and its body went flying all over the fucking place, and I'm sitting there like, wow.
But the major undertone of it is this movie's supposed to be spiritual, so maybe
Exactly, I
his
was gonna say the
spirit
same thing.
survived, and he doesn't need that vessel if the spirit can create its own vessel.
Oh, yeah? Well, you're forgetting
right.
one major component to that. Its spirit did survive, and then Godzilla sucked it right up. Godzilla became Mega Maid and went from blow to suck, pretty much.
I did have a GBA meme a long time ago where I put GMK's face on Shang Tsung going, "Your soul is mine."
Exactly. That's right there. That is fucking perfect. So yeah, and when Godzilla exploded, we didn't see any souls, being released. Not like when Biollante died, and then you seen Erica at the end. You know what I'm saying? So, the soul is done. Godzilla was a total deadite from Evil Dead, and he swallowed their soul, and that's it. The fucking what were they called? Exactly. What were they called? The Guardian monsters? Yeah, that's done. They never coming back. Thanks, Godzilla.
No. They were named Lunch.
Well, it's fucking true. So yeah. Well, in closing, let's get some final thoughts here, man. So we'll start with you, JR, since you've been the most vocal about the movie. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts are, I hate this fucking movie. I find it a chore to watch. Something we didn't touch on too much is the suits do look fake as shit. Especially Mothra and Ghidorah, they look fake as fuck. Yeah, I hate the story. I hate the music. The special effects were great. That is one thing I'll give this movie. Special effects were great. The design of Godzilla would have been great if they would have not have rushed it so much, if they knew the suit was flawed, not use the flawed suit, but they did it. It's whatever. It's a beaten horse at this point. A lot of people hold this Godzilla film as one of the best. Like, people straight up say it's the best Godzilla movie. As for me, it's like, it's pretty average compared to some of the other Godzilla movies, in my opinion, of course. It's right there for me next to Tokyo SOS. It's good for what it is. They could have done more, but they didn't. And that's why I hate this movie so much. It's probably because people love it so much. I'm like, guys, calm down. It's not the fucking messiah of Godzilla movies. It's not 1998. Hold your fucking horses.
Wait, what? Wait, what? I'm lost. Did I hear that right? Did I hear that?
Yeah, you heard it. You got the joke.
Oh, okay. There you go. Shit, I almost fell out my goddamn chair.
But, like it, love it if you want. For me, my opinion for this movie will never change. It hasn't. I seen it on Blu-ray. As a matter of fact, it got worse when I seen it on Blu-ray. I wish I hadn't. But that's where I'll leave it. And I have rated this Godzilla movie, and it stands at a 4 among the Godzilla series because of my listed reasons that hold the movie back. And I know we keep saying what coulda, shoulda, coulda, nada, whatever. It could have been better. It could have. And that's where I'll leave it.
Well, not for nothing. That's a high mark considering we go to the 5 scale system in this. So 4 out of 5 is pretty fucking high for someone who don't like this movie.
Yeah, but for me, I do it out of 10.
Nobody cares about your opinion.
Yeah, nobody cares. No. Oh, Game Z1, man. Final thoughts.
Okay, I need to fucking dispute here. That music's amazing. Fuck you.
I agree.
Hell yeah.
Godzilla's theme is just great. It screams power and dominance.
It's overplayed as fuck.
No, it's not. Godzilla theme plays during the opening credits and when Godzilla kills Mothra. Fuck you.
Actually, it is overplayed. It's the only theme in that whole movie.
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
just different variations of it, but it's the same theme. It is the same theme.
If you're talking about the da-na-na-na, that was supposed to be the Guardian Monsters theme. Yeah, that's overplayed, but not Godzilla's theme.
Watch it again. That's all I gotta say. Watch it
again.
It's there. I know. Don't get me wrong, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on the music because I agree with you. That music's fucking great. I own that soundtrack. I love that music. But it is the same music in just different variations. It is played throughout that fucking movie. I think Ghidorah is like the only one who has like a different theme. And Mothra when he comes out of the cocoon. And that's the only time you hear some type of different music, except when the end credits roll and they give you the march. But yeah.
Yes. Okay, but still, overall, if we're going out of 5, it's pretty much like a 4.5 for me.
Okay,
It's in my top 5 Godzilla movies. I'm kind of disputing whether this or Shinji goes into my number 3 spot. Personally,
that's a good. Well, I want you to. That's a good point. Hold on to that one because by the end of this whole review session, we are gonna have a podcast where we start ranking the Godzilla movies. So, 3 or 4.
I still need some time to I still need to watch Shinji on Blu-ray.
Well, you have plenty of time.
Get that rating on lock.
We have plenty of time, but is that it for your final thoughts?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a great movie. JR is delusional.
And your final thoughts on this movie. You named yourself after this. You named your page after this. Your final thoughts.
I still, this movie for me is tied in first place, only with Showa Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. Those are both my tied in first place Godzilla movies. For this one, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff we didn't touch upon that we kind of hit in that first podcast that didn't get aired here. But, there's that the scale. They showed scale with this movie like no other Godzilla movie before it. And the only movie since then has shown scale like that was, of course, 2014. But this wasn't even a Godzilla of that size, and you could feel the size behind Godzilla as he's walking. It's almost like you see it through his eyes. Honestly, outside of Burning Godzilla and the souped-up version of Final Wars Godzilla, this is the most powerful Godzilla. I don't care if he doesn't have a red spiral beam. It's not about the color. It's about the impact. And it was like a vacuum coming in when Godzilla was about to blow his blast. No other Ray in his other movies did that before then, anyway. There's a lot of the holes that, here and there. But there is no perfect Godzilla movie, realistically.
54.
I can. It's not perfect. I love it, but it's not perfect. So because who watches Godzilla movies for acting? Please.
I do.
Yeah.
Everybody who loves Shinji, apparently.
But my point being, this Godzilla movie represents Godzilla and what he should stand for. And that's why I place him in my top number 1 spot, as long as, I think that's why a lot of other fans do too. Basically, holes aside, it's like this is what Godzilla is. If you want to introduce somebody brand new to Godzilla, this is the movie you play. This is the Godzilla movie.
Gotcha. Listen, I totally agree with you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. JR, you made some solid points on why you didn't like the movie. Not really. But
I think I just debunked him.
Yeah, but I will say I do respect your opinion on it. You might be in the very small minority though, because there are this is one of those movies that it's a lopside, you know what I mean? Like there's more pros for this movie than there are cons, and you are the only person I know, so you're the one. There's 99% of the people who love this movie, and you're the one that don't. So, but I can't knock you for that. I respect your opinion.
Respect his courage on it.
Exactly. The fact that you got the balls to come up and say what you said, even though you're wrong.
I think that's also why when we decided to redo the GMK, I was like, fuck yeah. Because I need, in my opinion, to be the one that's like, hold on, guys. I don't like arguing the fact that I don't like this movie. I don't like doing it. But sometimes it just needs to be done when everyone says it's the perfect Godzilla movie.
We're going to get to that because there's a ton of Godzilla movies like that.
The last edit, it sounded like you were more praising it than you were hating.
I agree. Listen, all right, so ladies and gentlemen, G-Show Land, if you feel like you might be lost right now, we actually recorded this podcast previously with a lot more panel members. The problem, unfortunately, was, and there was a bunch, there were some technical issues, and it happened on my end. So, my setup was shot, okay, and it didn't come through clear. That's why we had to re-record this. And a lot of the panelists that were here previously could not be here. But I will say this small little intimate panel we have going, I've enjoyed it. We knocked some shit out. We got some pros, we got some cons, and everything was solid. So, and matter of fact, kudos to you, JR, for grabbing your nuts and saying, fuck this movie. So, massive props. I, on the other hand, love this movie. I do. It is one of my favorite Godzilla movies in the franchise. I don't know where I'll put it just yet because there's still some shit I need to see again. And I've seen all the Godzilla movies more than once, more than twice, more than 10 times. But there's a couple of them that I don't watch as much as I do others. GMK is one of those movies that I'll put on 2, 3, 4 times a year, okay? And watch it, maybe more. It's one of those movies that really it resonates. And yes, a lot of that has to do with Kaneko and the fact that his Gamera trilogy is phenomenal. And the fact that he's doing a Godzilla movie. And he does bring some of that flavor to Godzilla that he brought from Gamera, that he had from Gamera. For instance, the whole mystical fantasy element, the guardian monsters. That's from Gamera 3. That's what they fucking did with Iris, Gauss, and Gamera. It's the same fucking concept. You look at it, it's almost the same fucking picture. But I liked it. I did. I wish we could have gotten his original vision. I think that might have been more spectacular just to see what he would have done. Because at the end of the day, King Ghidorah is still King Ghidorah. Even though he's not what we're used to, he still posed a significant threat to Godzilla. Mothra really didn't. I would have loved to see how they would have incorporated Anguirus and Baron into this movie and seen how they would have posed a threat. But we don't have that. What we have is Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack, and it is one of my favorites in the series. And on that note, we end this podcast. I want to thank you all motherfuckers for joining me. GVA Invasion was in the house today. So, let's start with you, JR. Thank you for joining me, brother.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And just remember, I hate the Gamera trilogy.
Oh, I cannot wait to get your ass on that shit. You are going down. You're going downtown Julie Brown on that motherfucker. Gam Z1. Thank you for once again. I swear to God, if I have to go up to Montana and strangle your ass to be on another one of these motherfucking podcasts, you know how to do it. Because I want to visit Montana. It's what it is. But thank you for joining us once again. Coming back.
Thank you. And in closing, fuck that long-ass title.
Yes. What? Gam Z1? Fuck that. I love that title. What are you talking about? Anyhow.
It's too long.
Gam Z1 fucking fits you, bro. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Giant. That's a fucking mouthful.
It's a sentence.
He's a nutsack. And last but not least, yo, Anthony GMK, thank you, brother, for joining us once again.
Glad to be here, man. I fucking love you. You know that.
I love you too, brother. And I'm glad you got to be on the GMK fucking podcast. That's how I met you. That's what we know. That's what it is. And last but not least, I want to thank you fuckers for listening to our podcast. Again, we will be on every Saturday. Hopefully. We'll see. There's some things coming up. But still, we will be here and we're going to review from now down to the very first Gojira movie. Every single Godzilla movie ever made. We're going down the line. And yes, in a couple of weeks, we will be doing TriStar's Godzilla. The greatest Godzilla movie of that year.
Yeah.
So that being said, yeah.
Oh, I didn't get to rate my my GMK out of a 5-star since you said it. It's a 12.
And leave it to the fucking creative GVA to fucking bust into the end of the podcast. You motherfucker.
I bust everywhere, nigga.
Oh man! And on that note, we are out of here. Thanks for joining us. Peace.